Bitcoin is experiencing turbulence on its way to $100,000, and I'm going to explain why and how you can take advantage of it. The most important part in this market is to be open to opportunity. So if you haven't got a crypto exchange right now, check out the links down below. And if you haven't got enough money, check out the links down below, because these dips won't last forever. We've seen, it was only a few months ago, it was at $70,000, and now we're at $35,000 per Bitcoin. So yeah, don't think that this happens forever. It only takes a few weeks and we'll be back up again, right? So without further ado, as you can see here from yesterday, especially if we go on the lower time frames here, you can see that we folded over for Bitcoin. And if I get rid of the indicators, you'll see that we managed to hit a height of about $37,000, and now the lowest that we hit was $34,000 or $35,000 per Bitcoin. Now that alone is interesting, right? Because it was only a 7% drop, but it caused millions of dollars of liquidations. I mean, if you look here, $60 million on Binance, $162 million on OKX, $20 million on BYBIT, and $20 million on Huobi. So they liquidated both sides. Obviously, about 5 times more on most exchanges, and in some instances, 10 times more on OKX in terms of longs and shorts. And the way they managed to do that was simple. Okay, they caught some of the shorts over here. So if you were short, some people went short too early and got liquidated. I've seen some people's YouTube channel, they got stopped out, right? But I know other people would be like 20x leverage shorts. Okay, then other people went long. Okay, they went long from these ranges up here. Okay, they were long in the breakout. They were like, okay, you know, full send only, degen longs, and boom, liquidated. Okay, now what I think is happening is the point where the market gets choppy. Okay, and they do this because of fees. At the end of the day, exchanges need to make money from fees. They make money whether the price goes up or goes down. What a beautiful business. Well, they make money mostly from liquidations and fees. Okay, so when you lose all your money, they make money. Okay, so you have to remember, when you're doing trades, why would you want to put your trades on to the point where if the price only moves 10%, you're going to get liquidated? You have to think in advance, right? If you're going to do a leverage trade, this is how you do a leverage trade. You look at the longer term time frames. You look at the long-term areas of resistance and think, okay, if we come down here and flip this to support, that's where you can take a leverage long. Okay, so for Bitcoin, if I'm looking at leverage longs, I'm looking for leverage longs from this point here, 32,000, 31,000. Right, that's where I'll be taking leverage longs on Bitcoin. Anywhere else, like if I'm looking at plotting a trend and I'm like, okay, long from here, that really doesn't interest me, because there's probably all these same people that got liquidated over here are probably the same people putting, I know this line was drawn by hand, by the way, for anybody that's like, oh my God, TA, right? But you guys already know, it's just a simple line, trend line, right? Most people are putting trend lines, boom, and they're like, okay, here, and I'll put a stop loss just below. So what do you think the market does? It comes down, wicks out everybody's stop losses, keeps going. So you don't really want to trade like that, in my opinion, right? Because there's not a lot of money that's going to be holding you up. Whereas if I look at a longer term time frame and I put a long on here, there's a lot more longs that are there. So it's a lot harder for the exchanges to push the price down and liquidate people or get stops out. But it's a lot easy for the exchanges to pull the price down to here and stop out, again, hundreds of millions of dollars of longs or of shorts, right? So in my opinion, the only reason why the price is going down right now is simply because of liquidations. But you can also see something which I mentioned not so long ago. Like if you go on my YouTube channel, you go 3 videos back, you see I mentioned about this RSI, this oscillator here, right? This lagging indicator. And every time throughout history, when we've hit here, okay, we have seen a pullback down to about the 50, okay? And right now, usually you see on Bitcoin, it comes up and then it comes down, right? You see in Bitcoin again, the oscillator, we peak up, we come down, and we come to about the 50 point, which last time was about the same. It's about 9%. And right now we've had a very, very similar retracement. If you look here, top to the bottom, 7.5. So we might have a little bit more in us. Okay, and I'm waiting for the same. I genuinely think that, well, I'm actually kind of like hoping, in my opinion, that we do come down to here, because that will show so much strength in the market. Like, there's so much strength in the market if we range around, dip down to about here, and then get sent again, right? Because that turns old resistance, like historic resistance, into support, right? You see all of these times here where we've been resistance 1, resistance 2, almost resistance, we just couldn't beat it. Okay, 3, we broke it. And now if we come down and turn that into support, that'll be amazing, amazing market structure. Okay. Now, as you can see, we get closer and closer to BTC halving. And the closer we get to BTC halving, the more it's about longer term positions. Because on the short term, we can always say, yeah, Bitcoin's going here, Bitcoin's going there. We can just always talk theory, okay? But in my opinion, especially for some trades when you're talking about Chainlink, or there was some other tokens like Rune, for example, which are flying right now. There's so many trades where it's like, okay, we've got good entries, but when are we looking to take profit? And this is how I'm ranging taking profit. I'm ranging taking profit. I'm ranging my entries up until BTC halving. So it's a simple method of going, okay, you know, we're currently 100 days away. So how can I make as much money as physically possible in the next 100 days and get it in the market? Simple. How can I get some exposure to some of these tokens? Now, some of these tokens being the ones that I am talking about inside of my Telegram group. If you go click the link in the description, you'll see inside the Telegram group things like a few of the trades that I put on. You see the Gala Games trade that I put on today. Again, right, check this out, guys. Actually, Gala Games, right? 10x long, as you can see. Now, some of you be like, Tyrell, but you said that, you know, don't take a 10x long. It's too risky. But look, right? Exactly the same structure that I'm going with Bitcoin, where I'm like, okay, we come down to the moving average, which is also a past area of resistance. We'll flip it to support. Okay, and it's a strong position, right? Same thing with this. Okay, as you can see with Gala Games, Glimmer. Wait, let me make sure, because I did long Gala and Glimmer. This one, Gala. So I'll show you with Gala as well. But I did the same thing with Gala Games, actually, as well. You can see I planned this out in advance, which is crazy, right? Planned this out in advance. Now, as you can see, the same trade, it looks exactly the same, right? Limit orders from the first moving average line, the blue line. Limit orders from the long-term resistance, here, here, and here. Looking for it to turn into support, here, just the basic stuff, okay? And then the long order triggers, and boom, in profit. But even if we went further down, like I think this would have been like an 8% drop. It's quite big on alts. Yeah, 6-7%. I have limit orders all the way down. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. And it's a lot different to long in up here, right? And long in for, let's say, like, I don't know, even the trend line on this one would have been the same thing. But it's a lot different to long in up here, right? Or long in, I don't even know where people will be taking longs. Like, I don't know, right? But it just makes sense to me, especially when I've got, you know, when I'm using the Ichimoku and I'm using the cloud, just to take a long from the cloud, right? It just makes sense. And that's the reason why you can get trades that will do, you know, 90 odd percent, right? 99%. And the trades that I took a trade on, I think I've even got some of the trades on here. Yeah. I took a trade on Gala Games. There's my Moonbeam trade, which you can see the entry price. So that made, I think I got up to like 70% or whatever. Uni was one where I entered too early. And I'll show you this, in fact, right? The mistake I made with Uni is simple, right? If we go to Uni USDT, and this is one of the things, is like with this strategy as well, I'm still learning, right? I longed up here, but there was no breakout and there was no retest, right? If I look here, we haven't even broken out. So I tried to front run it, right? I longed like this candle here. So we're breaking out, and I was like, all right, cool, we're breaking out, everything else breaking out, let me enter here. But we never broke out, and we never came down to retest the cloud, right? We never even closed above the cloud. Okay, so the smarter thing to be doing would have been to put an entry around here, this moving average, which also triggered. Okay, so you know, I'm going to drop a video on this. I'm currently doing like a trading challenge where I started with about 2.5k. I'm now at 4.5k. I'm going to push to 10k, and then I'll drop a video of how I went from like 2k, 2.5 to 10, because it'll be a cool YouTube name, and I'll drop the full strategy. But long story short, lower leverage, look for longer terms and plan. And when you make your entries, remember, it's just the beginning. We're not even at BTC halving yet. There is no ETFs. The hype isn't even fully here yet. I mean, let's have a look at Google Trends. Right, let's have a look at Bitcoin. Right, it's been a while since I tuned into this. Look, we're not even at these levels of hype in terms of Bitcoin. Like, nobody's even bothered about it. Nobody's spamming YouTube videos and stuff like that yet. So yeah, you got so much time, but in terms of prices, like, it's an opportunity right now. You have to be positioned to receive. You have to be positioned to receive. So you have to think, okay, have I got limit orders set at 32k, at 31.5, right? Have I got limit orders set here? Okay. Am I prepared if, you know, Moonbeam comes back down to these levels? Am I prepared if Moonbeam actually comes back down to the range, right, which was plotting earlier, right? What about if we, you know, we've rejected here, and what about if we come all the way down to the bottom of the range? Okay, these levels. Are you prepared for that? Do you have entries level? Do you have, you know, liquidity on exchanges to be able to do so? Right, so this isn't a reminder for you to be prepared, because to be lucky, you have to be ready to receive. So make sure that you've got your cash flow in check, you've got your list of tokens in check, and you're ready to go on these markets. And don't be like these hundreds of millions of dollars on OKX and get liquidated like the rest of these people. Stay consistent, have a long-term plan, and you, my friend, will have success. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.